Hi everyone, welcome back to the studio. My name's Kaylee. I paint wet on wet landscape oil paintings, and today I'm going to walk you through step by step a wet on wet oil painting. I thought we would do a nice sunset scene with some misty fog and some really pretty reflections. The palette is going to be in the description below. I have a couple mixes, so pay attention to those, and let's jump right into it. I've already applied the liquid white to my canvas, so it's slick and ready to go. This is an 18 by 24 inch canvas. I'm going to start off with a 1-inch brush, and we're going to work into, there's going to be a nice big bright sun here reflecting into some water here. Sometimes you can sketch out a little bit of what you're going to do, and the easiest way to do that for me is just to get a little bit of liquid white and some Dyke Brown, or I like the Dark Sienna a little bit better. But we're just going to use this light brown mix because it has some red, which is also nice. And we can use this to kind of sketch out what we are going to have in the painting. And this can help you with, if you're just struggling and you want to know where to end your sun color, or where, what your layout is going to be, so that you can make sure that your fog is in the right spot. You can do a little sketch. So we just kind of sketch out a few ideas. We have a sun kind of somewhere down here with some reflections, some more reflections, some light, and then we'll have some shadows in here. So with this idea, you can figure out where you can plan more sections, but I like to start with roughly where my horizon line is going to be, so that I can, just get an idea of the light or perspective before you start applying all of your dark colors and getting rid of all of that stuff. So if our sun is going to be up here, let's start with some of our brighter colors. We'll go into the Indian yellow first. Grab a touch of titanium white with that. A little more. A nice bright color. And we'll just pop in a little sunlight here. Don't forget, we're also going to need that down here in our reflection. Let's go into a little bit of bright red and our Indian yellow. We're looking for kind of a peach color. Some titanium white. Well, this is kind of more of an orange, but that's okay. Let's work with this. I like it. Right around our sun, or our light source. Same thing. We don't want to forget about this down here. Bright red, just a little more now. Just a touch on this corner here. And the darker that we make all of this around our sun or our light source, the brighter this area is going to be. So we're going to continue to work with our colors A little more red now, but we're still just going back with our dirty brush into the same kind of orange pile. Touch more Indian yellow. Oof, it's on fire now. Okay, let's move into some Alizarin Crimson and bright red, same dirty brush. There's still even Indian yellow on there, that's okay. Work with that till you get a color that you like. Ooh, it's a fire sky right now, huh? I know this seems crazy, but don't worry. We'll get this all nice and blended out. We still have all of this titanium or the liquid white on the canvas. So that's going to give us a lot of blending power here. Crimson, 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 crimson. Lots of it. Get that all up on the brush. And we'll just work it down to wherever. We don't care. Same thing down below, corner. All crimson. Now, let's just add just a touch down here. Blending brush. Make sure it's good and clean. You don't want to be starting with a green brush. Sometimes it happens. Clean brush. Right into the yellow. And then we're going to start with a really tight X. This is if you want it nice and soft, right? I had to double check that I was actually recording. I've had a couple instances where I have a hard time in the beginning and I don't know what I'm trying to say and the intro and recording all of that. And I restart the camera, but then that's only what I thought I did and it doesn't actually happen. So anyway, sometimes I like to double check. Okay, we are just softening out this sky. Trying to keep with we're working our way out. We don't want to get the brush too dark before we get done with this area or get it to where we like it, because now our brush is going to be nice and dark. And you can always clean off your brush and do it again. For me, I just, use a dirty brush and move that paint into the canvas. You don't want to waste the paint. You're going to use it, and it just is going to help harmonize everything later. So we'll just get the whole canvas covered. We definitely want it to be lighter down here as we get towards some sense of the horizon. This was our horizon line that we originally put in. So that's where we want it to be nice and light. Up here though, we're going to soften it. I have a brand new tub of liquid white today, and it's really thin. Just like my brand new tube of titanium white, it's a little thinner. So it's been kind of fun. I was using a really thick end of a tube, so for both cases, so it's kind of nice to have nice smooth running paints again. It really makes a big difference. So if you don't use your liquid white a lot, like you're not going to go through a whole bunch of it, don't get the big ones, but there are different sizes. This is the liquid clear, like the smaller size. What is this one? It's really messy, 8 ounces. But I paint like 3 or 4 times a week, so I get the big one. This is 16 ounces, and you can see it's like really fresh and liquidy. So you will use very small amounts, like super small amounts. It goes so far, and you'll be really upset if you get too much of it, so definitely be cautious. And then buy the smaller ones. It does make the painting process easier if you're used to it for blending, so I don't want to discourage you from buying that paint. Definitely works really well. And you can't really do this process without the liquid medium of some kind, so the white just makes it easier because then you're always blending with white and it just always looks awesome. So we need to blend out this area here. We don't want to mess up all of that awesome yellow, so let's just soften it from the outside in first. And we'll just kind of leave that for now. Just soften this all until it kind of goes away. Okay, let's take the 1-inch brush that we were using in the very beginning, still nice and dirty. We're going to go into the crimson and phthalo blue. Should give us a nice little lavender color. And I think I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. No, this is right. The lavender, we want to add just a touch of this up in the corner. This is just going to push this back, give us a little bit of depth. And we'll blend this out a little bit more. But we're still going to just work on darkening this area a little bit so that this looks a little bit brighter. Just a touch more. Okay, let's add just a touch down below. And I'm going to pick up one of my big sable brushes, go right into the titanium white. It's nice and thick. We're going to create a nice light spot for the sun, just working out from the center with that titanium white. It'll really make this area pop. And it kind of helps to just make the sky look a little hazy and like it really yields a really pretty effect. Really like it. Sometimes I'll use a bigger brush, but I've been liking the look of sometimes using smaller brushes and getting some of these little details in there. So, pick your poison. Let's just soften this out. Not too much. Let's bring it together. I'm kind of twirling the brush around my finger right now because I want to keep the light spot right in the center. So I'm just giving it a twirl as I'm blending. It's kind of a hard one to catch on camera, but it's really effective at just directing the paint and really carefully blending these and just not having too much color interference where you don't want it to happen. I'm going to take this lavender now with my blending brush and just tap some of it just right down at the base. Up here, let's go ahead and soften this almost so that it doesn't show, and then we'll give it a nice pull. Same thing just at the edge there. Yeah, I really like that. The last thing I want to do is put in a nice bright spot for the sun, so just take some titanium white. You don't have to use your finger, but I always like to have an excuse to use my finger at least once on painting, because, you know, why not? It's fun. Get messy. Have fun, create art. That's it. Okay, so I'm just pulling off the extra paint, and then with the big brush, oof, I got that kind of dirty. I'm just gonna like whisper. Ooh, barely. I think here, I need to soften that. Oh, I just really want this to be so soft. Sometimes I just get so excited to paint. You're just rushing right through it, and then realize that you got a little carried away, a little heavy hand. So we're doing a nice little soft scene today. Okay, I'm going to pick up the 1-inch brush. We have the lavender on here. Let's grab a little bit of titanium white. I'm just wanting to get a light little cloud starting. Just something really simple way back there. Blending brush. Lift. Let's highlight that with fan brush. Titanium white, and then we're going to make kind of a golden color. That's nice. And we'll just pop this on right on the top. Blending brush. We just want to tickle some of that paint and have it just dance down just a touch. Just so you kind of see through some of the edges of this cloud through to the sun. That's just popping way up here. Really far away. Lift. Soften. Just soften that even more. Almost don't even know it's there, but it is. Next, we're going to do a nice little hill here. Lavender, crimson. I think let's grab a touch of our gray mixture over here. Just kind of dance into that, not too much. This hill up here is going to be kind of still up in, almost in the sun. We'll just tap and pull down. I want to add a few more little trees back here. I'm going to pick up a small fan brush and just mix up a little bit more of this same color. Titanium white, Alizarin Crimson, a touch of blue, and our gray mixture, a little more. Just right. You'll know when you get it. I want to just pop in, ooh, that's a little too blue. See? I knew. You'll see. Okay, a little bit of a tree that's just popping out right out in front. Gonna warm that color up even more. Touch of titanium white into it. A few more fun little ones there. Let's hop into the front. Maybe we've got one right here. And just a slightly different flavor. They're there. We just want to add in some other little details besides these trees in the background. Because it'll add a little bit more depth and dimension into this back layer. Just makes you really believe it, you know? Nice thick one out there. Okay, let's leave that. Right down here, we're gonna have kind of something different. I want this mist to look like it's just blowing in. So we're going to go straight across and tap. And pick up some of that paint as we go. Just allow it to mix. Right in here, just soften this a little bit more. And back. There we go. We'll add in just a few little sticks, twigs, and just to some of these back layers back here. Let's just pull down a few little highlights. Maybe just a touch in there. And there might even be a few little sparkles down on these trees, just, oh, ever so lightly. And then we'll lift. And tap. Next, pick up your blending brush and we're going to go right into the titanium white. I know. I don't even know if this is going to work. We're going to find out together. I just had this idea. I saw a couple photos online of some really fun misty scenes and I wanted to try and recreate them. in like my own version. So straight titanium white. We want the brightest spot to be up at the top, obviously, because we have light hitting it. And then as we move down, it's going to soften. Let's bring this side down just a touch. Soft. Blend this. We want this nice and soft at the top, but still bright. Top. I'm barely touching. I'm just trying to move some of this around just slightly. Let's give it a pull. Tap some more here. I got a little too much paint on the brush. Now let's just really go for blending out the bottom of it. This is just going to help distribute the paint. Now let's lift. And we're going to just clean some of these edges up just to make it nice and like this fog is just rolling in and just sitting in between all of these little cracks and crevices. Or I guess these big hills, these distant hills back here. I want to add a little pop to that. Just a little bit of our nice highlight colors. Titanium white. I'm just going to try it out on the stable brush. And I'm just tapping some of this peach highlight color in there. And we'll just soften it just barely. Okay, right out of the fog, we're going to have a few trees popping out. We'll go right into our crimson and our gray mixture. Let's grab a bit of that sienna, dark sienna mixture. And we want to have a couple trees. Let's see, we'll pop them in like right here. Maybe a couple, like a family lives out there. Just the tops of them are really showing. Just tap. Just a couple more. Let's just, for pretendsies, we're going to get a little bit of this color down in here. There's going to be some more fog, but I really want some of these branches to kind of pull through. So there's going to be fog and trees. It's going to be fun. Okay, a couple more right up in here. Titanium white, touch of yellow ochre. And I want just a little darker actually. A little more of our kind of gold color. Just grab a hint of that. No big deal. Tap into it. We still want it nice and thick. And somewhere right about in here, I think another little roll of fog. Just gonna kind of roll it in there, something like that. A little more paint. Nice and bright over here. Softer. Just bring that up. Touch more here. And we're going to bring this through. Boom, right there. Just like that. Nice and soft. We're going to keep tapping. Get this to blend and soften. Get a little bit more up on this top one. Let's just get another bit of this paint off of the brush. You just pick up a little towel. This is the one I just picked up all that titanium white with. No big deal. I just want to soften this. Even more there. Nice and soft. We're going to pick up some dark here, so be careful where we put it. Just wait until you start picking up some of the other colors, and then you can head back into the lighter areas and disperse it. So just be careful. Blend this. Let's lift all of this. Soften it. Picked up a little bit of dark, that's okay. We'll just brush it off down there. Let's get some dark fog happening down in here. We're gonna have a hill back where these trees are sitting on. So let's kind of just get that idea happening back in here. Touch of titanium white. Soften that out. Give it a little lift. Now, I want to get a little bit of a blue kind of hue happening over here. So let's just pick out a few big trees. Going right into our mixture. Pick up some gray, phthalo blue. And we're going to put in a good handful of trees here. I'm just trying to pick out where I want the trees. They're relatively straight, quite a few of them. And then we'll have this kind of moving down. So first, I'm going to pick up some titanium white and go into this. I'm going to put in a nice distant bit here. Just with the fan brush, We'll fill in this little fence that we kind of created. A little darker now. Pick out a few of these. And let's just soften out the base now. This is going to help us bring some of this blue into this area and just give it that nice feeling, kind of our shadow over here. Let's take this and start pulling down. Okay, I want to get a couple trees in here. All of our dark colors here. Let's bring this one just one layer forward. And maybe got some tall guy here. Okay, now let's play with some fog again. I want to get another kind of row in here. I kind of muddied up some of my titanium white, but that's okay. We do want to kind of gray it out, because if we were just using the straight titanium white this low, it really wouldn't go very well. So get a little bit of our lavender, whatever, just kind of a gray. We'll start with that just right here. Work in some fog. Okay, we're gonna need some more titanium white just because I just ran out. Never to fear, a brand new tube is here. Bloop. Okay, titanium, a touch lighter now. Pop that in there. Let's wipe off the brush. Now I'm just going to tap this. And get this nice and soft. Clean out the brush again. Right in here, we need to blend a little more. Now we'll just soften out the bottom. We've got a little bit of excess paint happening, so we just want to make sure that we're not going to have like a big mud problem. We want to still be able to blend this and get this nice misty look. So we'll just distribute some paint, wipe a touch off. And right through here. We'll just continue to soften. Let's give this a nice lift over here. Okay, let's keep working forward. Getting into our dark mixture. I want to keep this towards the blue side. And we'll just pop in a few more. Oop, I got a hair. A few more trees. Maybe there-ish. Maybe a few more these trees. And we want to leave some fog in here. Let's just tap. Put in a few little blips on this. We'll go just into kind of some of our highlight color and just tap on some of these edges. Give them a little sparkle. Titanium white, phthalo blue, just a touch. Hopefully you can still see I'm moving towards the edge of the palette over here. But we just want a really light blue, light phthalo blue, titanium white mixture here. Yeah, more titanium white. Let's just put some down here. Okay, let's just soften this out now. Remember that the softer you tap it, and the more that you tap it in that one spot, the more that that titanium white is just going to blend. Let's wipe off some of that extra paint. And we're going to soften the heck out of this. Just blend a little bit. Get that out of the brush. And let's just get some of this to kind of really give that misty effect into these trees back here. We're just going to push these back. Sable brush, go right into our blue mixture. We're just going to put in a few kind of like ghost trees. They're just sitting in the middle of that fog where you can sort of see them and sort of not. We're going to get some tree branches. A little more paint. Let's just get a touch of these down here too. Gonna get a few of our top reflections started down here. Some of these darker trees just working in to the back of this fog. You know, the sable brush can make some really nice soft little trees. Let's keep using this. I like it. Maybe a couple of these back here. handful of those back there. And I'm just gonna put in a few little tickles of some trees. Okay, let's just play with these here and just see what we're looking at. Oh, that's fun. Let's tap this out here. Give it a little lift. And let's just go ahead and pop in our last handful of trees here. We were using the sable brush. That was fun. Let's pick out a bigger sable brush. It's just like in between, our 1-inch brush and something else. So it's fun. Let's get some gray. A touch of blue and some crimson. Pick out a couple of our trees. A little more gray, a little more crimson. Let's do a couple more of those. Something here. And I'm gonna just pick out a few branches that are a little more standing out. And we'll just pop in a few more out here. Who knows? Maybe we've got some bigger ones. And let's pop these guys down here. Soften. just gonna keep softening this until it get it to where we like it. And I'm gonna lift, put in a few more branches. I'm just using my brush wash to thin down some of this dark mix that we were using. I'm going to put some branches. Let's use the knife and we'll scrape in a few sticks and twigs. And with our blending brush that we've been using, just going to wipe that off a little bit. Go right into the titanium white, and we're going to put in our last line of fog right in here. And it's just going to roll right in underneath these trees, right onto the top of the water. Just soften. Clean off your brush, go get some fresh titanium white. This is our reflection, so we need this top part to be light. And now we've got a couple layers of our fog back here. Keep softening that. I'm going to take my sable brush with highlight on it. Just right into the titanium white. Just a touch more pop over here. Then we'll pick up our blending brush again, wipe it out, and just soften. Give it a little lift. Okay, we want to add just a touch of highlight to these trees out here. Just a touch. We're just going to do a little bit of light blue. Just get your brush into a little bit of titanium white and a touch of blue. Down here, we're going to have just a tiny, tiny idea of a water line. So we're going to go right into our blue mixture that we use for the trees. And we're just going to tap in a little bit of a dark line. We'll pull down just a hint of a reflection from that. Then we'll get the rest of them. All the way across. Let's pick up some liquid white. Go right into our light blue mixture. Liquid white. And we're just going to give, let's pick up a little bit of our highlight. And just pop in a little. The sun might be just barely hitting the bottom over here. I'm gonna pick up my sable brush that has some blue in it, just wipe it off. And give this fog over here a little bit of a spin. I want to add a little bit more dark features over here. We're kind of lacking in. That ought to do it. I'm just pulling down. Or I guess that's up from the bottom, huh? Just wanted to bring some of this pink down back and behind those trees. And now we're going to bring in some of this kind of foggy areas into the water reflections that are up above here. So just a few touches. Okay. Okay, I want to play a little bit with these reflections and just kind of pull down a few more kind of areas where we are definitely having some that we just are missing from this. Just add a little bit of movement. Kind of just soften a little bit of this, and we'll pull down, go across. Maybe right here, we'll pull out a few, just like the water is kind of moving, you know? There we go. Just until you get it to have the look that you want. That's about what I'm gonna go for right now. And we can always come back and do more later. I wanted to pick out myself a nice big fan brush today. It's just gonna help make a really fun effect on this tree that we're gonna put in. But first, let's get something for the tree to stand on. We're gonna mix up some paint. grab all of our dark mixtures. This one will have it a little bit more to the warm side if possible. But it's just going to end up being a big pile of dark. So who cares? Whatever you end up mixing is perfect and it's going to be awesome. Now I want to grab a small sable brush and pick out a few of my tree branches or the trees. I think about like that. Another one right next to it. And we'll throw in a few something like that. Grab the script liner, and I want to put in a little bit more detail on some of these. We'll just throw in a few branches. And I want to do like this one kind of got stepped on, and he just kind of grew out this whole other little limb there, and then we've got one more coming in just right out here. All right, let's get this big fan brush just loaded up with paint. And we're gonna get a little delicate here at first. I just want this top to be nice and like almost like it's see-through. And then working out, we're just going to pop it in kind of some upward facing. This big fan brush one is just, it's kind of an older one, and so it's been a little beat up, and it just has a little character to it, a little bit of shape, so I'm using that. And I want to have some fun, you know, some fun little variety to it. So we're just going to play with these bent up bristles. And as we get lower, we're going to gain a little bit more density on these, a little bit less see-through. And before we get too carried away, this one is the tallest, but let's put in a couple of these that are a little further away first. Similarly, they're going to be all the same tree, just a little family back here, soft. Just working in areas where we're going to have some branches behind. I think we'll have kind of one up here. Let's work on this little bit here. We'll kind of fill in just a little bit more on that tree. And maybe we'll leave a few of these kind of blank behind there just for some more fun. But I do want to have a few more little branches down here. I guess they don't all need to have too many, but just some little ideas, a little lower. Now we'll finish off this kind of tree in this big one in the background. These branches, when they're littler, they kind of face up, but then they get heavy and they tend to pull themselves down. So just give a few little ideas there. And I want to work on just filling in and giving the idea of this being nice and dense back here without doing too much. And we'll work on this other little tree that has found himself kind of just popping out over here. Up. Maybe then we have this one. Some branches here. And we'll just kind of fill in a little bit over here. And we've got these branches coming out this way. No big deal. All right, now we're gonna have some land here. I just want to get a good idea. It'll probably look something like this. And just fill it in any which way. We'll give a little bit of our reflections down here. Pick up the script liner and we're going to go into a thin white. It's going to turn into kind of a light blue, and we'll just pop on a few highlights on these. Let's take our big old fan brush, load it up with paint, and we're going to put some grass out here. Just push up and let that texture come right off the brush. And we need to just kind of get a little bit there. Clean this back up a little bit. And clean up that there too. Let's pick up a little Dyke Brown, Dark Sienna, and our dark mix. And we're going to put in some land here. I need to mix up some more of that. You can use this color to make some more emphasis on these trees back here, but I really wanted to keep them just really simple today. And with that, I'm just going to leave them in this kind of blue hue, and we might pop on a few highlights. Just going to give a little bit of a rounded edge here. And we'll pull that right up into the dark. Pick up our 2-inch brush and pull down our reflections and go straight across. Let's go ahead and highlight those. They're kind of in the shadows here, but we're going to put a little bit of color. Titanium white, some of our mixture of that brown, and just go right into the same rock color. And we'll just pop on some color. pick up our fan brush just in case we want to use more of that dark mixture. I'm just going to grab the small fan brush and go right into our Indian yellow, and we'll just pop on, go into some liquid white. It will help to brighten this color. Just in between these trees, we're going to pop in a little bit of highlight. Just keep going with that, and you're going to start picking up some of the dark mixture, and that's okay. We just want to work in some grass, just picking up a few highlights from this sky. A little more liquid white. I want it lighter. And it just, there we go, touch more. Splash in through. Maybe pick up a little red and Indian yellow. And just pop in a little bit of that. Get your blending brush, and we're just going to soften it, just barely. We'll just finish this hill here and kind of bring this next layer forward. Just working down that hill there. I want to just emphasize these light areas coming through the trees, kind of right into the liquid white and the Indian yellow. And we'll just pop in a few more little sections of light, just kind of zinging through these trees. Maybe pick up a touch of blue. And we want to highlight just a touch on these trees. So we're going to clean off the brush, go right into the liquid white and a little bit of phthalo blue. Just going to get like a light gray mixture. And we'll just use this to tap on a few little extra areas of interest. Some sparkles. Now I want to put in a little bit of grass down here. Just get a nice thin green. And just pull out some grass. thin that down. We want it a little lighter now. See if we can get it to stand out here. Not quite. And get some red and Indian yellow. And back here we're going to pop on some grasses. A little bit more liquid white. Let's scratch in a few sticks and twigs. And maybe right out here in the foreground, this little tree is getting a little bit of light singing through and just sparkling. And we'll pop in a few of those. All right, let's put in a water line. More titanium white. I ran out again. I'm going through a lot today with all this mist, but that's okay. Let's just grab some of that. We want like a medium texture blue. This isn't a shadow, so use the liquid white if you need it to thin it down, but we're medium, kind of thin, but not too thin. Clean off your knife and then grab a decent size roll of that. And I'm just going to check these reflections one more time before we make it official. I'm going to pop on a little bit of grass, reflected. Who knows, something like that. Okay. Medium thick paint. And we're just going to drag flat lines around some of our rocks here. Let's pick up some more paint. And we're just going to drop in some more water lines here. down into the water, we need to add a little bit of our sunlight again because we lost it and we don't want that. So I'm going to grab some titanium white and Indian yellow, and we're just going to pop in a little bit of light right here. Titanium white, a little more. We'll just grab some of this mixture. Now, you could get a little bit better about not covering all this up, but you know, we can just always add stuff back in, so it's not that big of a deal. We're just going to pull in a few colors. Pull that across. Titanium white into the Indian yellow. And we're just going to pull out some paint now. Maybe we'll have a little bit of water sheen coming down. Oh, I'm uncertain. Let's see. I'm going to clean up this area here. We'll soften out some of these lines. Nice. Now I'm going to add in some water lines further back just to get a better idea. Back here, we've got some water moving. And it's just going to keep on moving and coming down. Oop. Keeping these flat, but we'll just work in some water lines. Of where we have some water moving. A little bit of blue. Just to make that pop. If you just take your knife and move it in and out, kind of pressing the paint down, you'll be able to bring some lines. You just can kind of move the paint around. Now we'll soften these out. Just want it to be like soft, misty water all the way back. just kind of bodged that up there, so I'm going to use the best trick in the book. Put a tree over it. Let's just fix this little crack kind of in this background area. And we'll put in a tree branch. And some more branches. Let's put in just, well, maybe nothing right now. Now, originally I wanted to put a little boat in here, so let's just wing it. Why not? I'm not very good at painting boats, but the only way to get better at painting things that you're not good at painting is to paint them. So I'm going to try. I want it to be just lower than the edge of this, so then the bottom of the boat will rest somewhere here. And we want him a little more at an angle. And we'll point this up. Then we are going to need the back of the boat. Pull down some dark in the back of the boat here. And let's go just across the top. We want to have first this section a little taller there. It's just going to be kind of a little fishing boat. Fix up the back, nice and clean. Then across the front. This looks weird here. just put in a little reflection too. Oh man, I am so not good at making boats. Oh my gosh. All right. I might have just barely saved it, but we'll see. I'm going to go into the crimson, get a good bit of that. Let's grab some titanium white, and we'll see if we can get any of this color to stick. Not quite. Let's go into some bright red. Bright red, just straight. Right across the top. And as we move down, darker. But we do want this edge right here to be nice and light. Back to the bright red. Let's pop a little bit of this color. Just a touch of that. And now I really want to get it to stick onto the boat. So let's pick up just first the script liner, get some really dark paint on there. And we'll just outline our darkest areas here. And get some of these finer details. Down the front. And now onto this front side. Okay, now the tough part. Red, right on your knife. Let's just get some more red. Right here on the edge. Highlight that even more on the back of the palette knife. Just load up a bit of paint. With the script liner, just a few ideas of where our wood is wrapping around. And we'll fix this shadow here, this under. Last, we will highlight it. Liquid white and bright red. More liquid white. Right on the top. Oof. Really need that lighter. Just a touch of bright red. And again. Gotta be nice and thin. Make sure there's a good bit on the tip. And we're highlighting these edges. Let's grab a touch of yellow. Right along the top edge. Nice. Kind of pull that together. The shadow doesn't look that great, but the top looks okay. And, well, I suppose we would maybe need somebody in it. We could put a little seed in there. Just grab a little something. No, I don't want to mess it up. I just want to leave it really simple, like a boat just sitting out here, and we'll tie it up. I don't know. Let's figure it out. Liquid white. let's just say that this is out and it's kind of like low, it's just low water and it's just parked in this like low water area. So I'm going to thin down a light brown mixture. It should be nice and thin. Then we'll go into a nice dark brown mixture. Grab a little bit of that light, and we're going to put in some stones. We need this light mixture to be just a touch brighter. Let's grab some titanium white into that. Dark, lots of dark and light. Not like he got stuck or anything, but he's just, he knows, he or she, whoever's boat this is, they know. They know that this nice little cove over here, and it's nice and safe, and they can park their boat there. I want to make some bigger rocks. Go right into a bigger brush. Well, this one's not working quite as good. Sometimes these sable brushes meet their, the task that they're not as good at. But if we get a nice and thick mix, nice and thick, we'll go right into a nice and thin paint. These ones are out here in the sunshine. Dark. Let's just get this light here. Next, we need to create a few shadows under these rocks. Just some teeny little ones. Clean out any sable brush. And we'll just pull down a little bit as straight as you can. Right at the bottom. Some of these way back here you can just tap. Let's take a 2-inch brush, clean that off a little bit. Lift just slightly. And we're going to mix up some blue and a little liquid white. Double load the knife, just kind of messy, get paint on both sides. And we want to make sure that we do these nice and flat. It's water just moving around this boat here, through these rocks. Just having a good old time. We're just going to pull a nice flat level area on the bottom of the rocks. Okay, now we'll pick up fan brush, get it nice and clean. And we're going to go right into this light mixture. We need it to be thinned down to a medium texture. And then we're going to use this. You can tap and pull some water right around these rocks here. It's supposed to be flat. We'll make it flat again. Some of these can be like rocks under the water too. You never know. Right over here. Let's use the knife. Knife. We've got just a little bit of extra craziness happening over here, I guess. We'll just say some of these rocks are under the water. And I want to just soften. Nice and reflective over here. Okay, I think I'm done. I just want to keep this simple. If I just keep going, I'm probably going to ruin something. So I'm going to sign it right into the brush wash, bright red. And right over here, I'm going to sign it. Kind of hide it today. I don't want to ruin this nice reflection down here by just signing over it. So we'll just kind of hide it in this grass over here. And when that dries, it'll show up a bit more. That bright red will pop right on top. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here today for Tutorial Tuesday, number 24. Definitely a nice little misty scene. I would love to see what you end up doing. Email me your paintings, Kaylee at KayleeRakowski.com. Please be sure to like this painting, give it a thumbs up, comment below, let me know what you think about it, and I'll see you next week. Smile and be happy, friends.